We've qualified for the World Cup. Go and compete.
Have we recovered from the thrill of the Liverpool-Manchester City game?
There wasn't much of a thrill.
I thought it was good. Yeah. I mean, yes, I'm recovered. It didn't need much recovery, but I thought it was good.
Liverpool really let it slip, I think.
No. That's bullshit. Let it slip
This
out.
was their chance. This was their one chance.
They came from behind twice. If they had lost today, it would have been game over.
Klopp, he came for the draw.
Oh, hang on now, right? There's this fucking narrative going around. There was a narrative going around during the week that Liverpool can now go to City and beat them and go top of the league. And everyone was assuming Liverpool would go and beat City. I don't know when the last time Liverpool beat City. That
means you're due.
No, that's not how football works.
What?
Yeah. When was the last time fucking Preston beat Man United? They must be due one, are they? It doesn't work.
Well, at this rate, they would beat them.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because I had a few people message me afterwards and be like, threw it away. I was like, what? We're still there. We're still a point behind. Okay, it would have been amazing to go there and win. But to assume that Liverpool would go and roll them over, I think is really naive. And to be honest, they could have lost the game. They didn't play particularly well the first half. So
or the second
they were better the second half. But they had to go there and sit back and let City have the ball because that's what City do and try and it was a bit like watching Liverpool a few years ago where they just attack with pace and hit them on the counter and that was kind of nice. But I don't know. To be honest, if I'd been offered a draw before the game, I'd have taken it. And I said that before the game, but to none of you. There's no
Liverpool got away with a draw because there were a few decisions in that game. They could have had 2 red cards. Fabinho finished as a player, in my opinion. There was an offside goal for City, which wasn't offside.
Well, factually, it was offside, though.
Very, very quick there. I don't know. Did they look at it too hard? And Mahrez decided to go for a point at the end of the game instead of a goal. Yeah, very, very lucky to get away with the draw, I think.
I don't know. Did you see the XG?
No.
Liverpool had a higher XG.
As we know, that's the that's the defining statistic, right? So XG, Liverpool won the game.
Yeah, exactly. Spiritually speaking, yeah.
Yes, holistically. I think
holistically.
what was good from a neutral perspective is I think momentum swung back and forth a couple of times, but also after 90 minutes of just a shootout, exact same position we're in before the game even started. So nothing really changed. All to play for.
It was a waste of time for everyone, really.
Yeah, should have called it off. Shook hands first minute, done the knee, and I don't know, gone cycling.
That's it. Sure, I mean, no matter what had happened, there's 7 games left. Liverpool could lose all 7 games. City could lose all 7 games. It's not likely, but it could happen. So, really, nothing is decided.
And arguably, Liverpool have the easiest next game. City are playing Brighton, but Liverpool have United, so kind of 3 points banked.
Exactly. Thank you, Kieran.
Whereas Brighton, they can trip bigger teams up.
Yep, they have done. I just think I do want to say I think the talk of the quadruple is a bit silly, right? I don't think anyone actually believes that they can win the quadruple. I think what it's about is still being in those other 3 competitions and having won one. I think that's what it's about. And look, at the end of the season, if Liverpool do a double, that's going to be amazing. It is amazing. If City do a double, amazing. but I think it's more likely that City will do a fucking treble.
Arsenal did the
Like,
double. Very, very impressive. Considering they're out of every competition.
Yeah, it's a good point. Very astute.
Mhm.
Yeah. So look, it's
Liverpool and City. The Champions League is theirs to lose. Really, there's no other team in Europe even close to the two of them. Real Madrid are a joke. Like going to Chelsea, just hammering Chelsea, falling short of what Brentford did a few days earlier. Barcelona, where are they now? Fucking who else? Juventus, Bayern, absolute shambles. The defense, they are. Oh, people, they've been getting away with it for years, but they've made terrible signings and they haven't brought any good young players through since Kimmich. And that was, 10 years ago nearly at this point. Yeah. They're finished as a force. They spent like 120 million on Upamecano and Hernandez, and they're championship level players. Like, never mind Champions League.
Wow, harsh. Well, it's an exciting time to be a football fan. There's plenty happening, lots of games coming up. Fucking Liverpool are playing City again next weekend, so we just have to see if it's the same. But I'll say it again. I'll fucking say it again. More credit to Liverpool. More credit should go to Liverpool for even competing with this City side, who have the best manager in history and the most money in history and best squad in history. And year in, year out, they're a fucking point behind them. It's incredible. I think it's incredible. And to go to their gaff, go a goal down, and still come out only a point behind is a credit to this underdog team.
You're right.
I know.
This rivalry, this friendly rivalry with the hugs and the OLs and the next time,
Yeah.
this nice atmosphere between them. It really creates this this rivalry that I think is going to be remembered for months to come.
On a more serious note, I have seen a lot of people, and I think Jamie Carragher said it as well, right? That City Liverpool is a rivalry. As a Liverpool fan, Adrian, do you consider that City as your rivals?
Yeah, I do know. Yeah, I mean,
But
they're
rivalries, bitterness towards them and hatred, and seems like Flynn said, it seems a bit polite. You seem to give each other like pats on the backs.
But it's like, what? See, what's a rivalry? Like, you can have a rival who's also your friend, or you can have a rival that you fucking hate. A rival is just someone who's competing.
Is this the Pokemon game school of rivalry?
Exactly.
Gary.
Yeah, they were rivals. Ash and Gary were rivals, but they didn't hate each other, did they? It's been a
You'd
while.
have to ask him.
Yeah, that's true.
Their opinions. Yeah.
I just think this fucking, because I know there's this shit going around that like Arsenal and United were the real rivalry, or whatever. It's like, yeah, that was box office because you just had lads shouting in the tunnel and stuff. But that's just Sky just love that kind of shit, When you look at the football being played, and like, there's been a lot said that in the last 4 seasons there's only 1 point between Klopp and Guardiola. That's a fucking rivalry. And when they go and play on Saturday, that'll add to the rivalry. And hopefully, I think it would be amazing if they met in the Champions League final. That would be fucking savage. That's a real rivalry. Not like Chelsea and City or something. That's not really a rivalry because they haven't really been competing for the same stuff apart from last season's Champions League. Whereas Liverpool and City have been rivals now for probably since the Gerrard slip season. That's nearly 10 years ago. So I think it is a real rivalry, even though I know it's a little bit lame that they're like sucking each other's dicks. You're like, oh no, he's the best manager. No, you're the best manager. It is a bit lame, but I think it gets rid of that fucking shit, shit between managers, and it's more about the football. It's more about the players. Ferguson and Rafa Benitez like tearing strips off each other.
Oh, yeah.
That's just for Sky Sports to make something out of. But
Yeah, but they love it.
Football-wise, this is the real rivalry.
Yeah, but they know Sky Sports, and nothing gets people's attention like fights and feuds. Like they always try to post video clips with like the most kind of inflaming titles about like Roy Keane, obliterates Jamie Carragher in heated debate. Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji, and nothing gets people's attention more than what seems like an actual feud or an actual fight. Because like, even at the UFC, I'd be watching UFC, and it's so funny how if a fight breaks out in the crowd, people will turn their heads away from watching the fight in the cage to look at the fight in the crowd between two drunk people, because something that's real and seems like a bitter fight or like something like that gets people's attention more than anything. Even this Will Smith thing, slapping Chris Rock, biggest story in the world, just because some guy got angry and slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it just made me think of was it Wenger pushed Mourinho once?
Oh yeah,
it fucking made like the front page.
Yeah,
like come
Yeah.
on. Like,
It was like two old fellas, a bit of handbags. Like Wenger didn't really have much weight behind the push, did he? Kind of like
would
Mr.
hammer him.
Burns. Yeah, no, insane game. I again, as a neutral, I enjoyed watching it without any stress or worries. Doesn't really settle any debates or arguments about better managers or better teams and whatnot. But also play for. I'm glad that we've had a season in the Premier League that hasn't been a runaway winner or like 3 teams relegated before Christmas. So
That's
we're
true.
lucky.
That is true. God, there's nothing worse than when everything's decided with months to go than these dead rubber games, and it's weeks of pointless games where all you can hope for is that a youngster might get a run out, and that's all you can look for.
Yep.
yeah, it's actually a really good season that way. Like we've no idea who's going to get relegated. We have no idea who's going to get top 4. We've no idea who. Well, we have a bit of an idea who's going to win the league, but hopefully it's like still all to play for by the last season, by the last game. That would be class.
I think the way it's going, it's so tight for like 4th and 5th, and for the like 18th spot, as well as obviously the league. I do like that would be that'd be some dream, wouldn't it? The title race, Champions League, and relegation battles going to the last day of the season would be, I don't know, probably too much.
Jeez, I don't know. We can dream.
And we will. And we will. Speaking of dreams, Flynn, I suppose the Champions League dream is over for Arsenal.
Oh yeah. Well, the season's finished now.
I thought so.
Oh fuck's sake!
She's at it again.
Is that Emma?
um,
So Siri thinks it's over for Arsenal, does she?
yeah, that's Google powering her, so she knows. Tierney and Partey are both out for the season now, and the players to replace them are Xhaka moves to left back, and Lokonga plays in centre of the field. And this is with Tomiyasu also having been out since like fucking October or November. He's basically been out the season. So, yeah, major problems and no one good to replace him. The squad is very thin, very, very thin. They could do well when they had the right players and it was all coming together. And now this has just thrown a massive spanner in the works. And Tottenham are winning all their games by like 5 goals. Bastards. And yeah, terrible result this weekend. Terrible result. Brighton are hopeless, like, and they beat Arsenal at home.
You completely ruined my hot take of Brighton not winning a game until May, and they had no right to win that game. Shame on you.
They didn't, but this is what we're up against. Fate.
Yeah. Because there was obviously one in the City Liverpool game, but that disallowed goal in the Arsenal game was a farce.
Look,
It's supposed to be clear and obvious errors being corrected. Nothing about that was clear or obvious or an error.
I don't know what to say. It could come down to the North London derby deciding top 4. You never know.
Oh,
That'd be
that'd
something.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be great.
Easy.
And that might take place after the regular season, like after every other game. I think there's a chance of that happening due to
All
scheduling,
that, yeah.
which would be crazy.
Spurs and Arsenal are so far behind, aren't they, in terms of games to catch up? There's not enough weeks to play it on.
Something like that, yeah. Or the teams that they have to play have other games scheduled and things. So
Yeah.
At least West Ham have fallen away. I mean, that's at
West
least
Ham,
positive.
yeah, well, they're a joke. You know what? They always were.
Like, it's just between Spurs and Arsenal, pretty much, isn't it?
You should have a chance.
Yeah.
No.
What happened to them this weekend? Oh yeah, they lost to Everton. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was good.
Don't
Yeah.
write them off yet. Don't write them off yet.
No, they're not that far off, but I mean, they're really making a meal out of it. Like 1 win in the last 5 games when they were kind of cruising to 4th.
Yeah, they threw it all away. They were locked in for 4th. Ole had them right there. And
Yeah.
Ragnick just came in and tore down all the good work Ole had built over the past few seasons. His project was just, they threw the baby out with the bathwater, really. Ragnick was not the man for the job. Ole should have been given more time. And Ten Hag, Jesus, if I was a United fan, I'd cover my eyes. I wouldn't watch the next few years because when they see the kind of football this clown is going to bring to the club, any trace of hope or optimism they have left is going out the window.
Yeah. When was the last time a manager came from the Dutch league and did any good?
Frank de
Well,
Boer?
yeah,
Frank de Boer.
he did great.
This is the thing. Like, I mean, these managers coming from fucking nowhere, and they think they're gonna be able to do what they do with Ajax, with Man United. Like,
Steve McLaren?
it's Steve McLaren. Is that what you just said?
Yeah. Won the league with FC Twente in the Dutch league.
And then
Did he manage Newcastle, was it? And nearly got relegated.
and yeah, exactly. Yeah, and even Ten Hag, like, is he tiki taka? Isn't he like youth development? That's like all his
People think
shit?
he is, but you're Jesus.
Yeah, he's gonna get creamed. I'm sorry.
Oh, he is. He's going to get
Oh.
walloped. And they're on about how he's a young, up and coming manager. He's something like 78. Like
Yeah. I know.
he's
Yeah.
got a bus pass.
I think it's just the last direction for United. You know, they've done like the big Mourinho. They've brought in whatever the hell Ragnick is meant to be. They've brought in the former player. It's like, right, let's get in this guy who is a youth development, like proper, let's play possession football kind of approach, and it's gonna fucking sink. And then they won't know what to do.
They've tried
I mean,
everything.
They hardly know what to do now.
They're trying everything. They're throwing everything at the wall. They have no identity. They have no future, and they have no hope.
It's just that they seem to have, I don't know who it is, but they seem to have this obsession with Dutch managers or Dutch players.
They do.
What are they doing? Like, it's just like, oh, Ajax have a good thing going. Ajax have won the last 15 league titles. I'd like if Man United could win 15 league titles. It's even Van de Beek. It's like, it's so close, lads.
I
Like,
know.
it's just happened.
Mhm.
Van Gaal. Anyway,
Yeah.
leave him at it.
It's so weird. When did they become obsessed with Dutch players and managers? Like, this is bizarre.
Is it God, what's his name? The director of football.
Van
Sorry,
der
the director.
Sar.
Yeah, and he's at Ajax now and going to United, isn't he?
Oh, is he? right?
Yes, so it must be like, well, he's lined up or something. Or there's rumors, but like it could be just a boys' club lining up a boys' club. Classic.
God Almighty. Well, the best of luck to them. I hope they do well. I wish them all the best.
Yeah, and I mean, Ten Hag has the Johan Cruyff Shield in 2019 under his belt, so I mean, that stands for something.
Jesus. I mean, I don't know if this is like the biggest insult, but it was actually more fun when United weren't so shit. You know? Like when they have some success and then they fall really hard, and that's great. Whereas now they're just falling week after week after week, and it's like, oh, United lost again, and everyone knows United are going to lose. So
I suppose, yeah, it was special when they were on their downward trajectory before they hit rock bottom with Ragnick. But when Palace beat them, Jason Punchin scoring from like halfway, wasn't it? Am I imagining this?
Maybe Darren Ambrose.
Darren Ambrose. Why did I think Jason Punchin? Yeah,
Obscure
Ambrose.
Palace midfielders, you know.
Watford beating him. You know, there were these times where Basel beating them. Just very enjoyable. Young boys. Name any European team.
We'll be here all day.
Let's just pick one out of like thin air, like fucking Olympiacos. They probably beat them as well. Like Ruben Kazan, Valladolid.
It's just what always gets me, and I think it's so satisfying. And especially when I used to do bar work right around the time of Fergie stepping down, was just how confident some United fans were that like they were going to win every game. And then when they lost a game or they drew a game and there was like one or two bad results, just not being able to come to terms with it. I found that was the most enjoyable part of the recent downfall of United. Just that not being able to conceive that the football team is not going to be gifted a title was something that I took pure joy from.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful.
Absolutely.
And it's something that really brings people together because everyone knows a United fan. In fact, they probably know many United fans who all go around in their United legions, you know, throwing rocks at other fans for 20, 30 years. And to see this group just stumble into a snake pit it's very enjoyable.
And that's one thing I definitely want to point out is I can't understand, because obviously we all know lots of United supporters, right? I'm pretty sure every single one of them wanted City to beat Liverpool today to basically hand City the title. Now, I was trying to comprehend that in my head, and I was comparing it to yesterday when Everton beat United, and I was kind of going, well, I wanted Everton to beat United, so maybe I'm the hypocrite. But Everton aren't going to win the league. If Everton were going to win the league, there's no way I'd want them to beat United. No way. So I can't understand how they are so adamant that they will even take their like City rivals to beat Liverpool to win the title. I cannot understand it. I really can't. And I mean, City doing it in the worst possible way with fucking Saudi money and everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, where's the limit? How can you hate Liverpool this much?
Well, it
They
was
hate
just
themselves.
programmed into them. Like they aren't capable of critical thought or thinking beyond what they were told to think as a child.
Yeah.
By Sky or by relatives or by their parents or something, saying like, United are the best, support United. And they think, okay, United are the best, I'll support United, because why wouldn't I? They're the best. So now they're grown up, but their brains haven't developed.
Oh my God.
They're still at that stage of being like 10 years old. So all they recognize, all they know how to express now is the same kind of feelings they would project onto fans when they were winning, which is trying to humiliate them and mock them. That's all they can do now, is use those same emotions, but they're not winning anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. Like literally cheering on Manchester City and their Saudi money and their bullshit way of doing things.
They don't mind City because City weren't a big team when they were 11 years old. So they can't accept City as a big team.
Yeah. I just try and think of it myself as a Palace fan. Like, Brighton and Millwall couldn't be in the same game that had like great importance and me pick one or the other because it would spite the other more. I just would, I don't know, close off the internet for the day. Like, I just pretend it wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't just like cheer for Brighton because it would mean that something bad would or something worse would happen to Millwall. It's a strange old thing, but I think you hit the nail on the head there, Flynn. I think it is the programming, and basically when it's like you must hate United, you must hate City. There's like an error 403 message or something just pops up and
it's
corrupt.
because they jumped right to the end of the goal of being a football supporter. When you support a team, it's to follow a team, to be with them on the journey, to see things develop, and to eventually maybe reach a victory point. You know, like if you watch a movie, you want to go on a journey with characters. If you play a game, you want to play through these levels and eventually get to the end. Whereas United fans entered a cheat code, got to the end with infinite money or infinite ammo or whatever, and it was like, there's nothing to do here. There's nothing to think about. They just got to the end of the game immediately. So they don't understand any way of living other than instantly being at the end of the journey. It doesn't compute.
Do you think it's kind of like glory hunting, like the ultimate glory hunting? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Man United aren't winning anymore, so who's next? Oh, Man City are probably going to win this. We'll hop on their bandwagon.
They might. They just might, because that's the only way out from now. Because they don't like football. They don't like football at all. So they like winning. So they might as well just support City. And I'd have more respect for the United fan who'd said, I'm just going to support City now and admit their situation. There would be more dignity in it. For themselves, there'd be less suffering. You know, life's too short to suffer. You know, you get this team and you got to follow it, and all they do is make you sad. Who's got time for that? You know?
No, I disagree. That's what makes the winning brilliant. When you suffer and suffer and suffer for years, and then you finally win. Even if you don't win a cup, you just win a big game.
Adrian, I'm telling you, Man United fans, we should allow Man United fans the out. Let them, give them this exit that they can take with their head held high. They can put on the blue jersey, the sky blue jersey of the citizens. I wouldn't begrudge any of the United fans for doing that. And
okay. Yeah. Any City supporter or any United supporter who wants to take the out, who wants to take the blue pill, message us. Comment below. I'm taking the blue pill.
Yeah, crisis number is in the comments.
Yeah.
Well, enough about dicks. Back to us. We might do some hot takes. That might be interesting.
Great.
I know you will have a plethora of them, Adrian, but I had one that I saw recently, which I thought might wait. I'll whistle a little bit.
Oh, let's do it. Yeah.
All right. So I suppose it is the same, like a yes or no. Do you agree with the statement that Gary Neville may have been more of the successful player, but Jamie Carragher is the more successful pundit?
Yeah. Okay.
I think so.
Obviously, Gary's credibility as a pundit was completely tanked by going to Valencia. and
Mm.
he became a laughing stock. And also, when they started having Roy Keane on, and Gary Neville just looked like, the little kid hiding behind a school bully, laughing at all his jokes or whatever, trying not to get picked on. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Neville just seems to focus on some sort of like political agenda the whole time. I don't know. I don't follow him on Twitter or anything, but I've seen his podcast a few times, and it always seems. Sometimes he has good football insight and things like that, but it's similar to Keane. It's always like, we were very lucky because we had this player and we had this player, and it's like, maybe you guys were just carried by these unbelievable players, whereas Carragher was not a very tall or fast centre back, so he had to be clever, I guess, to be a good centre back. So I think his
He
football
wasn't very
insight,
clever either.
he was, get out of town. I think, I think Carragher's football analysis is usually probably the best. I think him and Neville are good together, though. I do think that. Actually, while we're on it, because this was going to be one of my hot takes, was Roy Keane as a pundit. I think he is fucking like, he's barely getting by at this stage, because he was box office for a while, but now he's being asked questions like, and why didn't it work? Was it tactical or was it the formation? And he's like, it's just the desire, the quality isn't there, and where's the passion, and he's just throwing out these fucking buzzwords.
Players, yeah.
If you listen to how much he says the quality or the desire,
the quality's not there, like.
Yeah, either they've got so much quality or there's no quality. That's it. This is Man United.
This is Man United. This is analysis.
Like, what does that mean?
Right, this is a game between Bayern and Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly. Like, people laugh about the Souness Pogba shit. Like, Keane is way worse.
Yeah. Keane is like one of those prank call soundboard things. People just press the buttons. Like,
yeah.
Same thing every game.
He'd be talking about City, and he's like, well, back in my day, we had great keepers too, like Schmeichel. Mm-hmm. It's like, what's your fucking point, Roy? Like, what?
Even today, he said, he was basically asked before the game, which way do you see it going? He's like, well, if Liverpool win the game, they might go top, but I'm not sure if they win the league. If City win the game, well, they too might win the league, but it's a lot of ifs. It's like, get like the highest fence in the world that guy sits on.
And Mika Richards as well, like combination. The way they tried to turn him,
clown.
Yeah, they tried to turn him and Roy Keane into like a double act, like fucking Laurel and Hardy kind of thing. It's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, and the laugh, I know his laugh became a bit of a thing, but now it's just so put on, I think. It's just constant.
Yeah.
Nothing funny will happen and he'll be howling. It's
Someone told him after like his first or second appearance that people like to laugh. Keep laughing. People really like when you laugh. So he's just been doing that. And he got nothing else to offer. He's a bit of a... Jermaine Jenas, to his credit, was a terrible pundit. At least he was like, you know what? I don't know the first fucking thing about football, actually. I'm going to go host the One show on BBC, which is grand. Just put me in there, completely inoffensive, like a cardboard cutout could do this job. Just talk away, chat away. He can do that grand. I never thought the day would come where I think Alan Shearer is one of the best pundits on football. Because when he started, he was a bit like Gary Neville after Valencia, coming off managing Newcastle. Well, he had been a pundit for a while before that, but after that happened, he was a bit of a joke because people were like, how can we take you seriously? You got Newcastle relegated, etc. Even though, to be fair, he didn't do the worst job. They were going down regardless. But these days, I think Alan Shearer and Danny Murphy somehow are the only pundits that I'd listen to on football, on like Match of the Day.
Do you know what I would say about that? I actually don't think there's much credibility to Match of the Day, to them as pundits on Match of the Day, because I've seen them fucking there was something where it was clear that they hadn't been able to see the game because the game had only happened while Match of the Day was on, or something like that. Like it had just finished just as Match of the Day was starting or something, and they were coming up with all these bits and, oh yeah, he was brilliant today and he did this. I was like, they're clearly just given these clips and told, say that De Bruyne was inch perfect passing and say that he was lazy getting back and whatever. Now, Carragher and Neville, I'm sure, are the same, but there was just one time I was like, you haven't a fucking clue. You hadn't seen the game at all. Like,
Yeah, it's a bit like on Virgin Media when they be showing international games with Brian Kerr and someone else, like, but they'd only have been watching the one game, like the Ireland game or something. And then they'd be like, and now we have highlights from the other games in Group F. Here we have Lithuania versus Denmark. And they just start playing clips. It's like, Brian, what's your analysis here? I'd be like, oh, that's a great shot. That was a good one too. Oh, they're a force.
yeah.
That's a good impression, actually.
Brilliant.
Just like him. Just sound as dead inside as possible. And outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that
I wasn't even putting on a voice there.
Match Today is a bit of a boys' club too, though. Do you ever hear? I think it was Peter Crouch that was saying it. That like they meet for breakfast before the early kickoff on Saturday. Then they watch that game together around someone's house. Like they alternate the houses, and then they go to the studio for the 3 o'clock games, which they get their makeup done, I guess. Then they have their dinner, watching the late one, and then they hit the studio. So it's the right, it's the right Epstein, like kind of.
This is a leap. They go around to his friend's house to watch the first game. They go to the other friend's to watch the second game. They go to the studio to watch the third game. It's just like Jimmy Savile.
Look, I'm years ahead of my time, right? They'll do a documentary about me exposing Gary Lineker for being a nut.
Yeah, you'll be like the John Lydon of the world, where like your interview was banned.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll
He's too
see.
nice.
we will, yeah.
All right. Let me see what hot takes I have. I have about 4 or 5. Well, one we've already covered, but I'll throw it out because Kieran probably didn't have much of a say in it. So I'll start with you, actually, Kieran. This one is the Liverpool City rivalry is the best the Premier League has seen. What do you think?
In terms of probably like quality, yes, but ultimately no. I just can't shrug the Arsenal United one of like the late 90s, early noughties. I thought that was just, good football, but also punch-ups too.
The punch-ups count for so much.
So much, yeah.
You're falling for the Sky Sports narrative.
Yeah, it's true. But it was just that United and Arsenal met each other so often too. There was cup games, FA Cup games, even the Champions League towards the tail end, that famous game at the Emirates. At the Emirates. So
there was great arrogance in both teams. Like both teams thought they were like hot shit. They were like, we're the best. And it's not even a question of like, we have to protect our spot or we have to, watch out for them. It's like, no, we are the best. Like we are better than you and we know it and we're going to flaunt it. And that's it. And it meant that both teams just, when they met, it was like a clash of so many egos and players who looked so much older at the time than players the same age today look. Like, fucking Lundberg and Bergkamp and Van Nistelrooy and Keane and whoever, they all looked like 40. They were like grown men. Today, like imagine Kevin De Bruyne and Trent Alexander-Arnold getting in a scrap. It'd be like kids on a playground.
That's true.
And at the end too, like in terms of bragging rights, the rivalry still is to be continued because, it got the treble, but Arsenal are the Invincibles, So they didn't even come out of that era. Yeah, they didn't even come out of that era with one being like, okay, well, the treble's better than what Arsenal ever did, but no, they're on a level playing field still.
The feud continues in like fucking post-apocalyptic landscape both teams find themselves in.
Yeah, you're fighting over like bottle caps now.
Exactly.
All right. We covered this one as well, but I'll go with it. Ten Hag will be the man to return Man United to glory.
Ten Hag will be the man to return Man United to the dustbin.
And glue it shut.
Okay, yeah, not much of a take there.
Looking forward to them trying to implement total football with the fucking spoofers he has in that team. Like
Scott McTominay.
Yeah,
Oh my
fucking
God.
Lindelof and Maguire playing it out from the back. It's like, all right, you'll be losing games 6-0.
that back line, the money spent on that back line. Is Eric Bay still there?
He is.
Right, this fellow doesn't even play anyway. Phil Jones, who doesn't play, is still there. Was it Wan-Bissaka like 50 million, Maguire 90 million or something, Lindelof 35 million, Boy 35 million. Who's at left back? Luke Shaw was like 35 million. David De Gea was like 20 million, which was like the record for a keeper at the time. And they
Tellez,
yeah.
This is 30 million.
Dallo, who was 20 million.
Jesus.
Is there anyone in that team who didn't cost like a record amount for that position at the time?
Wan-Bissaka, surely 50 million.
Mm.
Brilliant. Fucking brilliant.
But sure, they brought on Mata the other day. Mata.
David
believe
Moyes.
it?
Yeah. He was,
think it was
wasn't
his-
he? Yeah. David Moyes is like premier signing, wasn't he?
I don't even think he was a bad signing, but the fact that they've spent so much on that team and they're playing players like Matic and Juan Mata, like his first appearance of the season or something, it's like, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck? How has it gone so bad?
It's like, all right, we're in a tight spot here, losing to Everton. Juan Mata, he's the man for the job.
I mean, your man Ten Hag, he's either like one of two things will happen, or one of two things he surely can see. Don't take the job and go off and get a job at a good football team and hopefully succeed. Or take the job at Man United, earn yourself millions because they'll have to fucking pay you like 30 million to leave, and you're made for life and never manage again. So maybe he's doing it for that reason, but he's certainly not doing it because he thinks he's gonna win anything, because he's got a team full of nobodies anyway.
He's probably on a 6-month contract, and at the end of it, he'll move upstairs to a director's position.
That's it. All right. Where's a good one? This was another one that I'm not so sure of, but I'll say it anyway. Man United will always be in City's shadow from now on. Kieran?
Yeah, for a long time, I'd say. Like, it's a big shadow that City cast now. You know, there's a big gulf between first and seventh. I mean, historically, United trump City, of course, but like in the last 10 years or whatever, nah. Yeah, it's big gulf.
They won't be in the shadow if United fans just stop following football and go start supporting like an esport Call of Duty team or something instead.
Yeah, I know, because even I think the point they were making was like you said, Kieran, historically United are the more successful team, but historically only in the last like whatever 30 years, I know they've won more Premier Leagues and things, but like give it a few years, give it a couple decades, and City will be right up there, I think.
Realistically, Man United are a team that are only famous and relevant because of Alex Ferguson and Matt Busby, and everyone else is irrelevant.
Yep, fair enough. All right.
I'd agree.
Antonio Conte is the signing of the season.
Whew.
Wow.
Easy.
Connor?
Well, I mean, fucking
Grumble, grumble.
Like, I knew it at the time, for fuck's sake. I was like, fucking hell, Antonio Conte, who should never be going to Spurs. Why he's going to Spurs, I don't know. It made me sick. But, I mean, at least he didn't go to Man United. Jesus Christ. Do you remember the lads who were like, I don't want Conte at United. He doesn't fit United. Holy Jesus.
Lovely.
Like, this fella who wins wherever he goes, wins the league, gets Victor Moses playing as a world-class player. He falls out with everyone and he'll leave your club in a shambles, but he'll win everything first. So I knew it was fucking bad news, but, you know, whatever. Fucking, it's Spurs, whatever.
That sounds like an agree anyway. Yeah.
Ronaldo.
I just, again, to say something different, because obviously Conte's done a great job, but Eddie Howe has turned Newcastle from dead certs to go down, along with all the money, I know, but like from dead certs to go down to signing key players in areas that they needed. Chris Wood, Target, Byrne, I forget his name, the midfielder. Yeah, you know, he played really well on Friday too. Yeah, I just think that Eddie Howe has steadied the ship, and he'll ride the wave until Newcastle dump him when they get enough good players that he's obsolete. But yeah, Eddie Howe for me, and Chris Wood being the best fan.
That's a really good point.
Didn't I say though that Chris Wood's goal was due? There you go.
Yeah,
that's true. You know, to
games.
be fair, because about Eddie Howe, not Chris Wood, because what if at the end of the season, if Spurs get top 4, is that more impressive than Newcastle surviving relegation? Probably not.
No. That's it, because even prior to Conte, Spurs probably should have, with the amount of money and the players that they have, should be competing. Whereas Newcastle were dead and buried. Dead and buried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. It's interesting that the two signings you're talking about are managers. Is there any like player signing that's been better this season?
I think the Spurs signings were good.
I mean, Arsenal signings have been good despite this current state of things. Odegaard, Ben White, Ramsdale, Tomiyasu before he got crocked. Yeah, all fairly successful, all very good, I thought.
Yeah. I think if we're talking about signings, I think Palace, just every signing Palace have made this year have been great. We've gone from basement Premier League team with a complete overhaul to getting, you know, solid mid-table with some like 3 players being called up to the England team. You know, Guy, Michael Olise, Anderson, Conor Gallagher, Will Hughes. Sure, Edward was like top scorer in Scotland, which doesn't count for much, I know, for years. He doesn't even make our first team. So, yeah, I think we're in for a shout for being club of the century, at least.
Fair enough.
2 years in, why not?
Why not?
The decade, you mean?
Sorry, yeah.
Century, 2 years. What year is it?
Yeah.
I need a war with people about those weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
Yes, Putin.
Putin. What do I have left? Just 2 more. Luis Diaz hasn't been as good as people say.
Has he been good at all?
He has. Well, it's your opinion, I guess. I don't know. There is a lot going around about how he should have started today and how he's probably part of Liverpool's best front 3 now. So it's just whether you think that's true or not. Maybe you haven't seen enough.
So it's Diaz, Jota, and Mane?
People are saying, Diaz, Jota, and Salah, or Diaz, Mane, Salah. But that Diaz has to be there. Yeah, Salah. Mohamed Salah. Ever heard of him?
But currently, best front 3 for Liverpool?
I think, yeah. Well, look, fucking, I don't know. People are just saying Liverpool's best front three, Diaz should be there instead of probably Mane or Jota.
I'd probably take Firmino over Salah.
Okay. Well, that's a hot take in itself.
I'd say Liverpool
Uh,
should cash in on him while they can, while he still has some name value.
Salah.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll have a hot take about Salah next week. Let me write that one down. Well, let's do it now. Liverpool should cash in on Salah this summer.
Yeah, why not? Sure, he's what, 29?
Mhm.
He's over the hill, let's be honest, and you'll get a good price for him. And he doesn't want to sign. So what are your options?
But is his contract up this season?
Next summer.
Next summer. Okay. It could be a Sterling situation, isn't it? He was in the last year of his contract and he got 15 million for him. I don't think so though. I think Jurgen Klopp is, people management. He has it down to a T. He knows how to manage people fantastically. He had the foresight to know that Mane, Firmino, Salah, as fantastic that front three is, they would become complacent if they had no competition, because that was Liverpool's problem for the past few years, or before winning the title anyway, was that there wasn't that depth. So he went away. He bought Diego Jota, who everyone thought, like, this guy couldn't hit a barn door for Wolves, and yet he's one of the best strikers this year. He went and got Minamino from Salzburg, who, maybe isn't the best quality, but he kept the lads on his toes. And now Luis Diaz as maybe a semi-threat to Mane and Salah to say, you're not untouchable. We do have a replacement lined up for you. And Diaz has done the job. Like, Liverpool were able to rotate their team to play Benfica. And he got one of the goals in the 3-1 win. And isn't that the aim, to have fully replaceable or full replacements for each position? I think Klopp's nailed that this year. And he might not come away with any trophies, and that would be terrible. But he might come away with 4, and it will be a master plan.
Imagine if Salah went to City.
I know, yeah. He just do what Sterling did and just rot on the bench, though. So
this is it. Like that's all City do. Buy Riyad Mahrez, best player and play him every 3 games. Like, fuck's sake! Like, why do people like City? Why do people like City?
But like, money talks, I guess. But like, as a young player, like, you have to look at Mahrez, Grealish, most recently. It's like, you might get the big bucks, but like, if Pep doesn't want you, he's not going to play you. And when he does play you, it's going to be in the throwaway games or just a small cameo. And like, Jack Grealish probably should have landed somewhere in between City and Villa, realistically. And now he's gone from being a cult hero in Villa to nothing. Like, nothing.
Yeah, but the other thing, he's basically guaranteed a ticket to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. If you're English and you play for City, you're going to the World Cup. So I think that has a big thing to do with it as well.
Yeah. The only reason Phil Foden is a football player is because he's English and he plays for Man City.
Yeah, the hype Phil Foden has for what he's done and what he's capable of, it's absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Last one. Steven Gerrard has done a bad job as Aston Villa manager.
Yep. I'd say he's done a bad job on the whole, like, in life.
Life, isn't it?
Fucking hell. Kieran?
I think he's done exactly as what people were expecting. Like, Villa are hot and cold, really. They were scrappy under Dean Smith. There's still that element of it now. But you can't judge a manager in this amount of time, You got to give him a few seasons, see how he gets on.
So, sorry, I should go back to Flynn. I cut you off. So, do you think if the season ended now, you think Gerrard would not have done a good job at Villa?
Absolutely not. No.
All right.
Well, anytime I watch Villa play, they look embarrassed to be playing for Gerrard. I don't think they understand his tactics. I don't think he understands tactics. He has 200 million worth of players playing for him up in attack. They're hopeless. Coutinho, this guy is the most overrated player in the history of the Premier League for what he's done. He scores from 30 yards every 20 games, and people act like he's as good as Bruno Fernandes. Right? It's a joke. Steven Gerrard doesn't know what he's doing. Villa got him. If nothing else, I'm glad I don't support Villa because fucking hell.
I wish I had the stats in front of me of Villa before Gerrard and after.
Well, So,
well, I don't. So tough on me, I guess.
They just had that really bad patch from September to October. But funny enough, they kept taking points off United. But they just had a really bad run. I don't think Gerrard has done miraculously better, but he signed some good players. Coutinho aside, Callum Chambers, Flynn, excellent player.
Oh, yeah.
Coutinho.
Mm. Yeah, give him some credit for that. That was an astute signing.
For free as well, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Great
Just-
bit of business.
One of the
Arteta just
greatest
saying,
what ifs in
Taken.
English football.
and he was the player. I always confuse him with someone else, but he was the player that smashed it in from his own half, or from the halfway line.
Oh no, that's
That's
Carl
his own goal, right?
Jenkinson.
Carl Jenkinson, Jesus, God, yeah. Well, it's not him.
The famous number 25.
Does he still play? Oh my God, he still plays.
He still plays, yeah, I think. I forget
He's
where.
on loan with Melbourne City.
No, yeah.
Oh, what a pathetic man.
Pathetic man, he lived the dream.
Did he?
He's a fucking Sunday League footballer, and he ended up playing for his boyhood club many times.
Embarrassingly many times.
Many
Jesus.
times
He did indeed, yeah. He had 80 appearances for Arsenal
in the league.
in the
That's
league.
That's more than 2 full seasons.
And he played in the Champions League too.
He did. He played against Bayern Munich in the Champions League, but
Fuck yeah. Was that one of the drubbings?
it was, yeah, I'd say all of them.
He was the common denominator.
I remember, I think he made his debut and got sent off in the 8-2 against United.
Jesus.
I think.
Hell. At least he has a legacy.
To be confused with Callum Chambers forevermore.
Yeah.
Callum Chambers can't get a move because they're just no, he's that fella that scored an own goal from the
Rob
other
Holding
team's
the
half.
same.
Yeah. Rob Holding. Jesus. Arsenal have had some questionable players over the years, but look, they're still going strong. Arteta has the
Check
the
the
ship in the right
XG.
direction.
Check the XG.
It's the I forget what the symbols for it is, but it's not even the expected goals now, it's the expected goal involvement that is the new phase.
Mm.
Fucking hell.
Kane didn't have a shot on target, but his expected goal involvement was astronomical, apparently. But
Kane, another spoofer.
I just want to say I'm surprised that you don't think Gerrard has done well. I think he's done very well. I'm a little bit biased, but I think I don't think he's done very well. But I remember when Villa got rid of Dean Smith because they were desperate. It was desperate times because he was like a hero at Villa. And then they brought in Gerrard. And I remember even amongst our group of friends, everyone saying, Jesus, yeah, Gerrard actually is doing pretty well. So where things flipped, I have no idea. I
Your
don't know
group
if you
of
watched.
friends or us.
Yeah, our group of friends.
All right, well, that
Us.
explains that.
But even at the weekend, I know they were tonked by Spurs, but I mean, like, sure, if Villa played Spurs 100 times in the last 10 years, they'd have been tonked by Spurs anyway, probably. But I'd like to see the stats, because that could have been like 4-4, to be honest. It's just that Steven Gerrard has kind of slightly shit players, and he's gotten Watkins playing a bit better. Like you said, he brought in Coutinho, Digne. He's gotten fucking your man Ramsey playing out of his skin. I'd never even heard of him. All right, I'm gonna close this Gerrard fan club.
Till next time.
But he's. What I would say is, with these, because I was thinking of United, and I was thinking, who could they bring in? There's a really funny thing has happened where, like, the generation of like Guardiola, Klopp, whatever 10 or 15 years, those players in that generation, they went on to be quite good managers, a lot of them. Then the generation of the Henrys, the Lampards, the Gerrards, the fucking Rooneys, they haven't
Arteta's.
really seemed to.
Arteta's.
And Arteta, sorry, yeah. I knew, there's a few more. They haven't really gone on to be great managers just yet, and I wonder. And Vieira, all right. I just wonder, will they? It doesn't seem like they will. And it seems like the generation even before that, the fucking older lads, again, like Hodgsons and all them, like, they were all mad to be managers. So I don't know. Maybe we're gonna run out of managers soon.
They may come knocking.
Yeah, what if there's a shortage of managers? Like there is like a shortage of refs, and they're all just crap.
Yeah.
Like every manager is just rubbish, and the players have to like manage themselves.
Yeah.
What a dream! What a dream!
Where's John O'Shea? Why isn't John O'Shea a fucking manager? Where is he
John
hiding?
John O'Shea has done enough, right? The lad played in every position on the football pitch.
He nutmeg
Like
Figo.
he did. He's having a
did.
good fucking rest.
But he needs to coach people how to nutmeg Figos, you know?
Yeah, I mean, what are players for Man United supposed to do if they get on field and across the way from him is Luis Figo playing for West Bromwich Albion?
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
Fucking
No
Like,
wonder. No wonder United are failing.
John O'Shea, like you have to find him. He sat in some bogland in Waterford, in this little cave, and you have to go and find him. And when you find him, you learn the secrets.
yeah,
But not
wasn't
before.
that was the plot of one of the Legend of Zelda games, wasn't it?
That John O'Shea was in a cave somewhere.
Quest in Skyrim.
I was thinking of
One of the Daedric princes.
Yoda.
Oh yeah.
John Yoda.
He's the fucking super mutant in Fallout 4 in the glowing sea.
Oh, John, come back to us. Football needs you.
We're almost out of time.
I think that's a good time to wrap it up, boys.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Nice one.
well done.
Up the fucking
If I
palace.
do say so myself.
Hopefully by the next time we record, Liverpool will have won the league.
And Arsenal will be top 4.
And Palace will be in FA Cup final. That could happen.
Oh my god. It could turn into a great season for all of us yet.
Yeah.
Ah,
It'll happen.
it could be some fucking smug in the end of season review. It's great.
Yeah. You just need to believe.
I believe.
You'll never walk alone.
You've been listening to the Put 'em Under Pressure podcast. For more of our content, make sure that you follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook. Outro music.